The following shots were all taken with my Canon 600D DSLR camera plus a lens and using a sturdy tripod. I only used short exposures, so no tracking was necessary. This basic astrophotography setup is beginner level. The settings I used were pretty simple too. I used 800 ISO as this is the best setting for my camera, but you could try 1600 or even 3200 depending on your equipment. Exposure time was 20 seconds or less. I also used a remote shutter control to avoid shaking the camera. Okay then, here are my best 6 shots with simple gear. Comet Neowise. This was one of my first astrophotography pictures. I captured this comet with a 35 to 85mm lens and tripod only. Very short exposures of 20 seconds were enough to capture the comet core and tail. My second shot is a shot of the Milky Way. Some of my very first shots as an astrophotographer were of the Milky Way. I took this shot at 35mm and with an exposure time of just 20 seconds in a Bortle 4 zone. I stacked only about 5 images. If you'd like to learn more about stacking, then check out this video above or in the description. You can also check a link which I'll put in the description to my website where I explain stacking in more detail. The next picture I'd like to show you is of the Orion and Horsehead Nebula. I took this in Bali. It is composed of many 5-second exposures to minimize star trailing. I took more than 400 photos. Then I stacked them, and this is the result after processing in Photoshop. I have a video showing how I process images in Photoshop, so you can check it out above or by looking in the description. Here is a nice shot of the full moon I took using a very short exposure time of about 1/2000th of a second. I used a 135mm lens and no stacking, just a single photo. Big Dipper constellation. Again, this is one of my earliest pictures and a single shot with my basic astrophotography setup. It was only about 15 seconds exposure with a wide field lens of 25mm. The photo shows a landscape in the foreground and the Big Dipper constellation overhead. I did very little processing on this. And finally, this shot is Eta Carina Nebula, and this is my favorite shot that I took with basic gear. I think this was worth waiting for. Do you agree? I took this amazing shot in Bali as it can only be seen in the southern hemisphere. This shot was also made up of many hundreds of 5-second exposures. So the key takeaway I'd like to leave you with is that anyone can capture amazing astrophotography shots with just simple, basic equipment. Providing you have the passion, you don't need to have expensive equipment. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other tutorials on astrophotography techniques and share your thoughts in the comments below. Please be sure to subscribe to watch all my future videos, and thanks for watching.